Up in the morning and out to school. The teacher is teaching the golden rule.
Today I wanted to share with you two things: how to create a Google site and use them in your classroom, and also how to manage Google Sites as a classroom administrator using the Google Apps Education Suite. The first thing you might notice is that Google Sites is not listed on your list of Google tools, so you may have to search for it. You may have to go to even more. I know on our Google Apps and Education page for my school, it's one of the first ones you'll see, but on my Google account, it's simply not there. There's Sites. Now for Sites, I use it as a great way for my kids to bring in a lot of different multimedia into one place and keep it for their records for class projects and things of that nature. To create a new site, you simply hit create, and you have a number of templates you can choose from. I like to start with a blank template, and one of the nice things about Google Sites is you do not have to have any code writing experience. It's all drag and drop. You can select a theme from any number of themes. You can go blank if you want to. You can really make it your own, which the kids really like. And of course we have the ever-present CAPTCHA code, which if you can read, you'll be able to create the site. Once you've done that, someone had that. Now the nice thing is, if your school has your own Google Apps Education Suite, everything's created under your domain, so you can make it public, you can make it private. Here's my page. Like I said, it's very basic right now. Just wanted to show you some of the editing tools. If you wanted to edit the page, click your edit bar. A number of options show up. Now for those that do have some HTML experience, you can toggle that right there, which is something you'd want to do if you wanted to bring in a YouTube video. If you wanted to bring in something else like a voice thread or anything that has code that you'd want to bring in, you could do that with HTML. I know a lot. You can increase the font. And really make this page yours. You can make it about whatever you want. You save it, and there it is. There's some other options too. You can look at the revision history. You can change the template of the page if you wanted to change it up. A lot of it can be done through Manage Site. However, my favorite element of this is sharing the page. If you want to assign students to work in a group, all they have to do is type in somebody else with a Google account and share it with them, or send them the link. That is a really nice element of Google Sites, is that more than one person is able to work on the page. Now you can't work at the same time. If two people are working on one site at the same time, things could get a little messy. But if one student wanted to work on it in your period 3 class and they wanted to work with someone in your period 7 class, that's totally doable. It's not a problem. If someone wanted to work in the library during their study hall, again, totally doable. Now from the administrative side, this is what Google Sites would look like. And this gives you a little bit more control over what your kids do. If they put up a site you don't like, if there's something that you need to get rid of, you can do that. You can make the site public, you can make it private. For example here, yes, users can create new sites. However, if you have Google Apps for Ed in your building and you don't want people to be able to create new sites, you can do that. For our purposes, I want parents, I want everyone outside of my school to be able to see the sites, so I make them public. However, you can make them private, so it's only visible to the site owner. You can require that you want your students to make you an owner of the site so you can see it. Again, sharing options. I wanted to make the sites public, but you could also uninstall the service. there's a lot of different settings that you have as a user here that you can take a look at and see what your students have done. Just some examples of what students have done, some of the sites that they've made. And you can see that I've required my students to make me a part of their site so that I can see it and get rid of it if I need to. This site was made for a political parties assignment. Students had to make their own political party page. This class chose to put a video on their page, and they have other sub-pages on their party platform, their leadership, and they give some examples of what they believe, where they fall in the political compass. And again, it's just another very creative way for students to pull in many different tools to one place, kind of as a place to house all of their work. Whether one's working on a video, if one's working on a chart, if one's working on a form or a survey, you can put it all in one place. So it's excellent for project-based learning. Here's another example from the political party project. This group included a podcast on theirs, and again, they have their issues here under their web page, their sub-pages. Highly collaborative, and you're able to use a lot of different tools. I highly recommend, if you can, using Google Sites in the classroom. You have a great deal of control over it. There are some concerns. For example, a student could create a page that's totally inappropriate and you don't get notified about it. That's where you just have to be responsible and closely monitor what is going on. But as part of my philosophy is that students, especially at the high school ages, need to be given that freedom, and with that freedom comes responsibility. It's a very teachable moment, but I think by and large, I've been using this for 5 years now, 4 or 5 years, and I haven't had any issues with Google Sites. No one has ever created a site that should not be there, and I hope not to have any issues with that in the future. If you have any other questions, please feel free to ask me over Moodle or just send me an email. Thanks. Bye.
Up in the morning and out to school. The teacher is teaching the golden rule. American history and practical math.